What's up, guys? Evan Jarvis here. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the keys to success that I applied over the past weeks and months to cash the WPT World Poker Tour Niagara last week. Um, it was a 5K buy-in event, one of the first 5Ks I've played in a long time, and things were different this time. I'm going to show you why. Let's get into the presentation. Oh, how about that? We got a little new setup here. We got the green screen. We got the new headset mic. Please let me know how the sound is. So, today's presentation, keys to success in live multi-table tournaments with your boy, Evan Jarvis. This video is about winning big at Niagara. This is a picture from my Instagram. These are the picks from the 5K. Here's us buying in for $5,000. Our stack after a few levels. Yeah, we got stacking real fast. The trophy that we didn't get, but a friend of mine got, stack on day 2. This is the getup that I was wearing. I didn't have the mask on all the time, but in big spots and high pressure situations, I wanted to ensure that my opponents could get no reads on me whatsoever. So I had one of those neck protectors that I would just pull up over my face, put the shades on, put the hoodie on. No one could get any reads. I found it made me much more comfortable at the table and much more confident at the table, knowing that I wasn't giving anything away. Then we got the chip stacks, bubble trouble, and eventually we cashed for about 12.3K in the tournament. Um, Now, this wasn't the biggest win I've had at Niagara, but in this tournament, I felt a lot more confident, calm, and collected than I ever have before. And it had to do with the preparation that I did leading up to the event. Normally, when I play a 5K, I feel very anxious and very nervous. In this post, you can see that I was anxious and nervous the night before, but as soon as I sat at the table, I was extremely calm, and it's because I felt like I was the best player at the table. And that's a feeling that I was able to cultivate, and you can cultivate too with proper preparation. So my biggest win at Niagara happened a few years earlier, where I actually chopped the tournament for $162,000. And the feeling that I had in this 5K was similar to the feeling I had in that 1K going into day 2 and going into day 3. The difference was in 2016 I both played well and ran well, whereas this year in 2019 I played well and I didn't run so well, and everyone knows you need some luck to win poker tournaments, but provided you're getting results and getting scores and getting cashes even when you aren't running good, that means when you do run good you're going to get a huge win, and that's, obviously the dream. So, what were the keys? 3 keys for success. The first one was right thinking. I needed to have the right thoughts in my mind to be able to execute at the table. Whatever the script is that's running in our heads is what is going to play out in our actions and our decisions. And honestly, at the start of this year, I didn't feel my game was that sharp. I felt like, I'd fallen off a little bit and I needed to do some work on my game. That showed in my results this summer at the World Series, which were way less than stellar. And I said, unacceptable. That's not good enough. I need to get back up to speed. How can I do it? Easy game. We live in the age of the internet, the information age. Everything's available. So I just invested some money, got some programs. First thing I did in August was I purchased all of Alex Fitzgerald new products. It cost me about $900. Worth it. Paid for itself within the first month. The next thing I did was I purchased the Ben CB Poker Tournament Masterclass. I was told it's the best thing on the market, and I was like, man, it's like $1,200. It's like 40 hours of content. That's a lot. And they're like, dude, it's the best. And I said, okay, you know what? I've got some tournaments coming up. I'm going to be doing this tournament thing a lot more. I might as well invest in myself early and reap the rewards for the rest of time. And I'll tell you, going through this program was very mentally fatiguing, very mentally exhausting because the information was very dense, whereas Alex's was very quick, easy to absorb and understand. Ben CB's was dense. So it took me about 2 whole months to get through the program, but the information stuck. And then a week before the tournament, I attended Charlie's Poker Masterclass because I said, you know, how often do you get to learn from one of the greatest minds in poker? And I just saw the event was going on. I said, I'm attending 100%. And this course also helped me get in the right mindset. So basically, I went from being kind of out of the loop, out of the game, not having played for pretty much 2 years consistently, to being like, okay, now I think like one of the best tournament coaches of all time, Alex Fitzgerald. I think like one of the best tournament players of all time, Ben CB. And I've got that unorthodox, outside the box thinking of Charlie Carroll. Boom. That's a great mindset, a great strategy to be coming to the table with. And all I had to do was invest a couple $1,000 and probably about, all told, probably about 100 hours to go through the material, but worth it. And I have that information for every future tournament I play. Plus, I got to apply what I learned in these programs in those tournaments to integrate the information more and have it stick more. So it wasn't just theory anymore, it was something I could actually execute on, which is pretty sweet. Key number two is right preparation. And this is something that I've gotten wrong in the past. And I think a lot of other people get wrong too, because when a tournament's coming up, everyone's like, whatever, it's all good. I'm fine. I'm chilling. And then, like, a week before the tournament, there's this, like, oh shit, I don't know everything I need to know. I got to get some more information. And then they do the cram thing, which I've done before, and it just doesn't work. So this time, I planned for the Fallsview Classic starting in September. So 6 months before the tournament, I said, okay, I'm going to start getting my head back in poker mode. I'm going to start exposing myself to some information. Not going to go all in on it, but I'm going to get some thoughts there as the baseline so I can build on them with the time that comes. Because cool thing about learning that not everyone knows is when you're in a stressed out state, you don't retain anything. Whereas when you're in a calm state, you're able to absorb and retain the information. What usually causes the difference between a calm state and a stressed out state? A feeling of lack of time. When we feel like we have all the time in the world, we usually feel pretty chill. When we feel like we don't have enough time, that's when we get stressed out, anxious, antsy, and we don't retain information. So started studying 6 months before. 3 months before, I'd prime the foundation with Alex's stuff. I say, okay, now it's time to get hardcore. This is when I started going through Ben CB's material, and I committed to studying 2 hours of poker every single day until I completed the course. And actually, I had to take some days off because it was too much information to absorb that quickly. So I ended up going through about 5 lessons a week and taking 2 days off to give myself a chance to actually absorb the information that Ben was teaching. 1 month before was when I said, okay, now I really need to start applying what I'm learning. And that's when I started going to Casino Rama to play the $300 tournaments. I started going to Brantford and Casino Niagara to play cash games and get in the rhythm of playing live poker. Because having the information and having the strategies of tournaments is fantastic. That's what I need to use. That's what I was going to need to use to get deep in the tournament. But it's not enough to know it. To be able to do it in the moment, I have to feel comfortable and I have to be able to execute. And that's why I acclimated to the environment. It wasn't like, okay, I'm coming from online and I'm playing live for the first time. No, I'd been playing live for, 6 weeks leading up to the tournament. So I felt very comfortable at the poker table. I'd practiced the theories that I'd been exposed to. So I wasn't doing them for the first time. And therefore, I kind of recognized when was right to use different moves and whatnot. So that was really key, was taking that 1 month before to get comfortable at the table. And this whole prep program is actually something that Tony Gregg taught me the year that he won the one drop. He did a similar thing. And so I said, well, if it worked for Tony for 4 mil, maybe it can work for me for a few 100,000. 1 week before was the start of the series. So there was the 1K event, which you saw on the first slide that I pretty much literally bubbled. There was the 2500 event and the 5K event. And my plan was to play the 1K event, then play some cash games, and then play the 5K. I didn't want to play all three events because I felt like I'd be too exhausted. And what actually happened was I played the 1K, felt great about it. Then I was playing cash the next day, and I'm like, I don't know if this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so instead of playing cash games leading into the 5K, I took the day before the 5K off to recharge because I realized as much as I love playing poker and as much as I love playing tournaments, they are extremely exhausting. And being in a room with a bunch of stressed out people is even more fatiguing. So I said, okay, I feel like I can perform in this room, and when I've got my energy in a good place, I do really well. I was practicing qigong routines every single morning and every single dinner break to make sure my energy was good. But I realized how much of that got taxed from me when I was in the card room. So the day before, rather than going to the card room and trying to make some more money, but dropping my energy levels, I took the day off. I went for a walk by the waterfall. I went to get a Reiki treatment. I talked to a psychic. I did all the hippie things that you would expect from me. And I went for a pizza and I just kind of celebrated the fact that I was there. I was celebrating the fact that I get to play a 5K buy-in WPT event, that I'm feeling really sharp on my game, that I performed so well in the 1K, and I'm probably going to be able to do it again in the 5K. And I took that time to get perspective. Because if I hadn't done that, if I didn't take the time to fully digest the experience of the 1K and of the cash games before, I wouldn't have been operating from a clean state and I wouldn't have received the lessons that I received. And one of the things I said was, I'm not going to bubble the 5K the same way I bubbled the 1K, and I didn't. And game day was just about going through my morning routine and getting in the right mindset. I had to, eat my breakfast, get my movements in, get my breath right, get my energy right. And even though I didn't have a great night of sleep, I got myself in a state to perform, and I reminded myself that this is an opportunity that comes once a year for me, my local tournament, and then that just kind of got me in state. And as soon as I sat down at the table, I said, I'm the best player at this table. I've done the most work to prepare for this event. I'm ready to execute in this event. I feel confident in this event. I'm going to do a great job. And I did. And number three was having that right intention. And whatever the dominant thought is that I kind of anchor in before playing is what is going to be the automatic thing that the mind focuses on when left to its own devices. And people have all kinds of thoughts that they choose. I want to win the tournament. I want to build my stack. I want to be the chip leader. I want to min cash. Who knows what it is. But often the thought that they choose doesn't incorporate everything that they need to and can lead to making poor decisions. Like if my goal is to be a big stack, right away I'm going to take a lot of risks that are probably unnecessary. So I took a quote from Alex Fitzgerald. You've heard this if you watched Takeover Week. And he said that my goal is to increase my chip stack with the least variance possible. Isn't that beautiful? Yes, I'm trying to build my chip stack up, but I'm not trying to take a lot of risk to do it. I'm trying to protect and manage my resources so I have the lowest chance of getting eliminated from the tournament, and I have the best chance of continuing to make plays looking for spots to accumulate chips. I also used my own intention on top of Alex's because I asked myself, what would help me be the most present? Like sometimes I say I want to play perfect. I want to make the best decision every time. And I feel like that can put a little bit too much pressure on me because I don't know if I'm making the best decision. But what do I have control over? Well, how much I'm paying attention to the action. So I set the intention that my goal is to have the best read on every player at the table. Doesn't mean I'm picking up every single tell, but it means that I knew what was going on. I knew who was winning chips, who was losing chips, who was having positive momentum, who was having negative momentum, who's too tight, who's too loose, maybe a couple tells here and there, but it meant that I was very aware of what was going on in the game, more so than my opponents, because I was paying attention. And the result of paying attention and being attuned to what's going on in the game is I'll probably make really good decisions, but I'm not putting this pressure on myself that I have to be perfect. I'm giving myself a task that I can do that's going to lead to the outcome that I want. And I found that these two intentions really, really helped me to just focus on what was important and ultimately be totally in the zone for 2 days straight, despite playing, under some pretty high stakes scenarios. $7,000 bubbles are pretty stressful. Um, yeah, that's that. Those were my three keys for success. The right thinking was number one. Number two is right preparation, and number three was right intention. And the farther ahead that we give ourselves to prepare, the better chance we have of getting the job done and getting the result that we want because we actually see, okay, when do I study? When do I practice? When am I doing physical or mental training? When am I resting? And then, we just get into playoff mode, we get into game day mode, and that's when we're able to execute and get the results. So I was really happy with the results. I cashed the 5K for 12.3K. If you're hoping for some hand histories, I will be reviewing some of the hands in another video. I just didn't want to make this like a 30-minute video. I just wanted to give you guys some powerful ideas you can use for your next tournament session or your next cash game session. And I almost cashed the 1K too. The way I busted, it was just a mistake. I mean, many people would say it's fine. I open shove 12 blinds on the button on the literal bubble with queen jack suited into two tight players. It was a totally fine play. But knowing what I knew from the bubble play section and the short stat play section from Ben CB's course, the play was unnecessary given the stage of the tournament that it was at. But hey, live and learn. Made the mistake in the 1K, didn't make the mistake in the 5K. Use the advanced stalling tactics and the advanced bubble tactics to get that pay jump that I otherwise would not have got. So I got the extra 1,500 bucks that I missed out on in the 1K in the 5K. And that's it. So if you guys want to connect with me, well, here's all my social stuff. Also, please let me know what you think of this format, what you think of this presentation. Do you dig the green screen? Do you like the floating gripster? Do you like the headset? Do you prefer when I use the Yeti mic? Any of those things. And obviously, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Let me know how I'm doing. And what else? Oh, if you're interested in the training programs that I went through, I've put a link for all of them in the video description, and I've also put a discount code for the Raise Your Edge Masterclass because I know it's very expensive. It's like $1,200. So I've got a code for, I think, $150 off the Expert Edition and $80 off the Apprentice Edition. And if, $800 is outside your budget, check out the other programs. Alex has some great programs that are extremely reasonably priced and will teach you so much good stuff. Charlie's masterclass is fantastic. I'm going to be doing a review on that in a future video. And of course, my MTT guide you can get for 50 bucks and it will definitely pay for itself. So that's how you can learn from me or learn with me or learn the same things that I'm learning, and I'm going to continue to learn. I'm going to continue to share in these videos and other ones as well. I would also love to hear from you. I would love to hear what your 1 to 3 keys for success are when you play live tournaments or live cash games. And if you don't have those keys to success yet, maybe think about what your 3 keys for success could be for a future session and write them in the comments section, and then they will be reinforced and re-ingrained. And feel free to read the comments from other YouTubers as well to learn from each other. That's what it's all about. Um, Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again on Friday for the next video. And until then, you know what to do. Take what you learned, go out there, and get stacking. Peace.